As the Australian Labor Party grapples with plummeting popularity, its past links to the Health Services Union are an ongoing embarrassment. 3 former officials at the HSU are facing civil court action over alleged financial mismanagement at the union's Victorian branch. The allegations include failing to account for spending on a union credit card, flying to a wedding using union money and signing blank cheques. Tonight, one of the accused Victorian officials, former Assistant Secretary Shaun Hudson, speaks exclusively to 7:30 Victoria.
Hell, frightening, stressful, overall probably a life-changing experience.
Former hospital orderly Shaun Hudson joined the Health Services Union in 1994.
Soon I come to learn that it was an environment that was full of political intrigue in many respects, a lot of outside interference from figures within the ALP.
Amongst this union's thousands of members are lowly paid hospital cleaners, trolley pushers and orderlies. 2 weeks ago, those members learnt through a Fair Work Australia investigation that the money they pay to their union has been allegedly misused. Shaun Hudson is one of 3 former HSU officials who face a litany of allegations. The Fair Work Australia investigation was damning into your behaviour and of others, finding that you signed blank cheques, that you used a credit card indiscriminately. You described it as a dog's body card that everyone used for anything, and you and your partner's flights were paid to a wedding with union money. Do you dispute any of those allegations?
I dispute a number of those allegations. Certainly the money should have been reimbursed out of my wages, which wasn't. I think it's a disgrace. I believe it was a set-up, and I'm not prepared to tolerate it, and hence I'm talking to you.
Do you deny that you misused union money?
My word, I do.
Why can't you account for about $7,000 worth of spending on that credit card?
I believe I provided those receipts.
And what happened to them?
I have no idea.
So you say that you provided receipts for all the spending you did on that union credit card?
I was extremely thorough.
So what happened to them?
That's a very good question. I believe they were stolen by an individual or removed deliberately as an act of sabotage against me.
Shaun Hudson, former State Secretary Jeff Jackson and former President Pauline Fegan are the 3 HSU officials Fair Work Australia has referred to the federal court.
You guys earn a lot more money than us.
There's no solidarity here. Pauline Fegan and the so-called Jackson faction, which included Shaun Hudson, were at each other's throats for years over who ran the union.
They all want to be hung and shot.
Shaun Hudson claims he raised concerns about the use of union money, including the practice of signing blank cheques, but he says he was bullied into dropping the issue. Did you think you should perhaps raise it outside the union?
Well, no, there's an issue of safety for my family and I. To go raising such an issue, certainly would have been very detrimental to my career, plus I believe my safety and my family's safety.
It's troubling that an organisation that represents so many people in the health industry is in a state of some turmoil.
As a representative of Victorian hospitals in industrial disputes, Alec Jonoff has dealt directly with the HSU for more than 20 years.
There were times when union officials' availability was a little bit questionable.
He's restricted in what he can say, as he's currently in negotiations and litigation with parts of the HSU. Jeff Jackson left the HSU and has declined to comment. Pauline Fegan now works for an industrial consultancy group called Health Services Advocates and Mediators.
It's been established by Pauline Fegan, a former senior official of the HSU.
Is it a concern to your organisation that a woman who was named and is now facing federal court action as a result of the Fair Work Australia investigation is now running a similar organisation or in the same area?
Well, she's entitled to operate that business. It's open and it's clear what the outcome of the Fair Work matter, and as it affects Pauline Fegan, I can't say.
7:30 Victoria repeatedly called and emailed Pauline Fegan, but she refused to respond. The Fair Work Australia report found that instead of looking after its members' interests, the dysfunctional Victorian branch of the HSU was distracted by its own internal struggles. The question is why? What was at stake? Shaun Hudson's answer is political careers in the Labor Party, state and federal.
Obviously, it holds a number of votes, which equate to a number of seats in Parliament. So the Health Services Union has always been an important player in respect to that. Hence, a lot of interference from outside.
Clearly, the outworkings have been such that the interests of their members have probably not been as well served as they might.
730 Victoria contacted a number of past and present Labor figures in the state and federal parties. None were prepared to talk about the role of the HSU and its connections to the ALP. The union severed ties with the Labor Party last year.
Out now. Out now. Don't you bloody lay on your hands.
As bitter and outlandish as it's been at times, this union fight probably wouldn't have taken on such significance if it wasn't for federal MP and former HSU official Craig Thompson. He's currently under investigation by police and Fair Work Australia for allegedly misusing an HSU credit card to pay for prostitutes. He denies those allegations.
Would you concede there's evidence of a culture at the HSU which has seen a lack of accountability and the possible misuse of union funds here, members' money?
Look, I'm not commenting on something that is going from Fair Work Australia into the federal court. That's the report you refer to. It's been referred to the federal court as I understand it, so it's not appropriate for me to comment on that.
There's no doubt about that we've become a political plaything to ensure that there's pressure kept on the Thompson investigation.
Victorian Senator Michael Ronaldson says there are legitimate issues at play, including a need for greater scrutiny of union money.
I just wonder whether this might be an insight in relation to the affairs of not just the HSU but other unions.
Represented by lawyer George Defteros, Shaun Hudson now intends to pursue a bullying claim against the HSU and says he'll vigorously defend the allegations against him. Do you feel guilty about the way that you and others used union money?
I don't feel guilty. I'm disappointed that some of us who did want to implement change were not able to.
Nonetheless, for years it seems that this union has spent more time worrying about who's in charge than looking after the interests of the workers.
Sadly, there are some individuals who have played that game, yes, and continue to play that game.